Today I want to talk about the Netflix Cleopatra show again. And we all knew this was coming after the abysmal Rotten Tomatoes score. It's now at 10% critics and 2% audience. But it did make history being the lowest rated audience show at 1% when it was first released. It has gone up to 2% now. The usual defence has been wheeled out in defence of a show which Egypt itself has condemned, complained about, and is trying to get Netflix banned in the country and taking them to court over trying to rewrite their history. But of course, as this article here is saying, let's just call the outrage around Queen Cleopatra what it is: racism. This is the go-to card which is always played when they make a show, movie, and race swap the main character. In fictional shows, it doesn't matter as much. It's a fictional character. It can be changed if it's the right person to play the role. A couple of examples are Robert Conrad originally played Jim West in the Wild Wild West TV show. He was played by Will Smith in the movie. It was a bad movie, but nobody cared that the character had been race swapped. Look at the 2002 Daredevil movie. Michael Clarke Duncan was classed as Kingpin, and nobody cared. He was superb in the role, probably the best part of the film. But Kingpin was right in the comics, but again, nobody cared. So the whole "it's racism" at the moment is just the go-to blame card for easiness. It's not our fault the show's bad. It's not our fault we wanted to race swap historical figures. It's your fault because, well, you're racist. And this argument has gone for so long now that nobody pays any attention to it anymore. We all know it's coming when a show or movie with a person of colour in the lead doesn't do well. The racism card is getting pulled out. And I don't know how many more times they can pull this and still think people genuinely take it seriously, because nobody does anymore. But let's just have a quick look at this article. It is from Vogue. And it says, let's just call the outrage around Queen Cleopatra what it is: racism. You'll have caught wind of the discourse around Netflix's docudrama Queen Cleopatra by now. The questions of historical inaccuracy and cultural appropriation, peppered with the predictable doses of racism, have made international headlines since the first trailer for the show dropped, introducing Cleopatra as mixed heritage black woman. Produced and narrated by Jada Pinkett Smith, the 4-part series which premiered on the streamer this week sees the Egyptian monarch played by biracial British actress Adele James. Her casting was met with heavy-handed backlash almost immediately after it was announced, with certain scholars and both the Greek and Arab press enraged about what they described as blackwashing of Egyptian history. The passionate debate escalated when Egyptian lawyer Mohammed Al-Semri demanded that authorities ban the show in the country, accusing Netflix of misrepresenting Egyptian identity to promote Afrocentric thinking. It was echoed by former Minister of Antiquities for Egypt named Zahawi Hawass, who wrote a piece for Arab News claiming that Queen Cleopatra was rooted in falsehood. In the week since its publication, an Egyptian broadcaster has announced it will make its own version of the documentary with a light-skinned lead. While concerns about the historical accuracy and erasure are valid, particularly when depicting stories as nuanced as Cleopatra's, even the use of the phrase Afrocentric thinking in such contexts is damaging. For starters, it's emboldened white supremacists who have crawled out of the darkest corners of the internet to spew hate and racial slurs at the cast and creators of the show, just as they did when Disney announced Halle Bailey as the star of Little Mermaid, and when Shonda Rhimes dared to present black people in regal roles in Bridgerton. Now for me, this is absolute nonsense this person is writing. Not the people coming online and spewing racial slurs. You'll always get those people. They are few, but they are loud. It is a minority of people. It is not the main amount of people who have criticisms against this show. But when the author of this piece is claiming that both the Greek and Arabs are wrong and that they are being racist because they're having their history rewritten, is ridiculous. This person sat in an office in America who probably has no ties to Egyptian history apart from what they've read and ignored because they want their own version to be true, cannot tell the Egyptians that they're being racist and should accept that Queen Cleopatra could be black when it has been accepted and reported that she was light-skinned from Greece is absurd. I'm fairly certain that I would much rather take the Egyptian historical knowledge over Egyptian history than some random person in America who doesn't know Egyptian history and who just wants to blame stuff on racism when they can, because this is all this article boils down to. It's just you're racist, the show was good, and you just have to accept it. Is pretty much what this is coming down to. And Egypt isn't accepting it. One of its broadcasters is making its own documentary series with a light-skinned lead, which should tell you how much they are annoyed at this Netflix series. If this was done the other way around, the cause of cultural appropriation would be well justified by the media, saying that it's an outrage, but it's not. The race swaps a well-documented, light-skinned Egyptian queen, and apparently if you don't accept that this is okay, you're racist, including the Egyptian people. Shortly after the trailer for Cleopatra dropped, Netflix was forced to turn off comments due to the volume of racial slurs being posted. James, who received the bulk of the verbal abuse, spoke out about the threatening messages she had been subjected to on her own Twitter page. Just FYI, this kind of behaviour won't be tolerated on my account. You will be blocked without hesitation. She tweeted, sharing screenshots of racist attacks. Now you can read what they've said there. And then this part goes on to say that Cleopatra's race has long been regarded as ambiguous. But as far as to my knowledge, it hasn't. It has been accepted that she is of Greek origin because she is. That's been well documented. And that she's was light skinned. There was no ambiguity about it. It's just that's what history is. You can't decide that you want to now rewrite history to fit in with what your ideals of modern standards should be. If Jada Pinkett Smith's series, what she's doing on strong female leaders, is covering black strong female leaders, then surely there is actual strong female leaders of colour out there which are less well known, which they could focus on. That would have been a better subject. But they've chosen to race swap Cleopatra because she's well known. And now that they've not got away with doing it, the racist card has been called out. It's not a bad show, you're just racist for not liking it. So this doesn't surprise me that the racism card has been pulled. It has surprised me how long it's taken for this to be pulled. I think we all knew this was coming. And I'm sure now that one publisher has published an article like this, we will see more defending the show and calling people racist. I mean, are they calling the general audience racist? Or are they also calling the critics racist because they've only given it a 10% score? Is everybody racist who doesn't like this show? I mean, I'm guessing that's what they want you to believe. But what do you guys think? Were you expecting this defence to come out? Do you think we will see more articles like this defending the show? Do let me know in the comments below. And that's all from me. I'm off to make a fresh cup of tea.